Okay, today we're going to learn about volumes of pyramids and cones. First, we need the formula. The formula for the volume of a pyramid or a cone is as follows. Volume is 1/3 of the area of the base times the height. So just as we learned about prisms and cylinders, it really depends on the area of the base. For example, if I have a pyramid that has a square base, then I would need to find the area of the square before I could find the volume. If I had a pyramid with a triangular base, I would need to find the area of the triangle before finding the volume. Same thing with a cone. Before I find the volume of a cone, I would need to find the area of the base. In this case, it's a circle. So remember, the area of the base is going to be different depending on the shape you're given. So here we're asked to find the volume of a rectangular pyramid if the length is 10, the width is 9, and the height is 11. So first we need to identify our important information. Step 1, the length is 10, the width is 9, and the height is 11. Step 2, use the appropriate formula. Well, when I look at my pyramid, I can see that the bottom is a rectangle. It also says that in the problem. So I know to find the area of a rectangle, I just multiply length times width. So I'm going to use that formula and plug in my information in my next step. Area equals 9 times 10, length times width. So the area equals 90. Now I need to use my formula for volume. So the formula for volume is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Okay, well, I just found the area of the base here. So I need to rewrite my formula and plug in what I know. So step 4, volume equals area, volume equals 1/3 area times height. So now I'm going to plug in what I found in my previous step, which was that the area was 90. So volume equals 1/3 90 times the height. And I can plug in the height. The height is given to me in the problem. So volume equals 1/3 90 times 11. All right, now we just solve. I'm going to do 1/3 times 90 first. So this is really saying 90 divided by 3. I'm going to do a little extension over here. 1/3 of 90 is basically saying 90 divided by 3, which is 30. So volume equals 30 times 11, which means the volume equals 330 units cubed. So my last step is to box my completed answer. Here's another problem. Find the volume of a cone whose radius is 6 and whose height is 16. Okay. Identify our information. The radius is 6, the height is 16. That's all we need to get started. Then we need to use the appropriate formula. So I noticed the base of this shape is a circle. I need to find the area of the base, which means I need to remember the area of a circle is pi r squared. Let's write that in. Area equals pi r squared. Let's plug in what we know. Area equals pi 6 squared. So area equals pi, this is really 6 times 6. So area equals pi times 36. Okay, let's do some math. I know I'm going to need more space. All right. So 3.14 represents pi. We're multiplying by 36. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. Placeholder. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. And 3 times 3 is 9. Add up these numbers. 4 in the ones place. 10 gets carried over. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. And 9 plus 2 is 11. But don't forget, decimal point. So, the area of the circle is 113 and 4/100ths. So now that we have this information, let's plug it back in. So this was actually step 3, which was plug in. So now we have to plug it back into our formula. But remember, we're finding the volume, so we need a volume formula. Volume is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Let's plug in what we know. Volume equals 1/3 times 113 4/100ths times 16, which is from our original problem. So I need to solve this pretty big problem right here. I'm going to look at this and start by dividing by 3 first and getting this number smaller. Otherwise, I'm going to be dealing with big numbers, and I just don't want to do that. I want to make life easier for myself, so I'm going to divide first. Okay. So let's take 113 and divide by 3. So we're going to say, actually I'm going to do this over here because I know my long division is going to take up some room. So let's put 113 and 4/100ths inside, and let's put 3 outside. Here we go. 3 goes into 11 3 times. 9, when we subtract, that gives us a 2. Bring down the 3. 3 goes into 23 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract, get a 2. Bring down the 0. The 3 goes into 26 times, which is 18. Subtract, bring down a 2. Bring down the 4. And 3 goes into 24 8 times. There we go, 8 times. Evenly, no remainder. Bring up the decimal point. So 3 goes into 113 and 4/100ths, 37.68 times. So now we have to bring this back to our equation. Don't get lost with what we're doing. So we just did these 2 parts of our formula first, and we have to continue by saying 37 and 68/100 times 16. So we're still not done. This is why it's so important to keep track. All right, let's get some more space on our page and let's solve for this last part of our problem. So 37 and 68/100 times 16. Okay. So we have 6 times 8, that's 48. 6 times 6, that's 36, plus 4 brings us to 40. 6 times 7, that's 42, plus 4 is 46. 6 times 3, that's 18, plus 4 will take us to 22. Let's remember our placeholder, and then we have our next tens place to multiply. So 1 times 8, 1 times 6, 1 times 7, and 1 times 3. And add all these up in nice, neat lines. 8, 8, 6 plus 6 is 12. 7 plus 3 is 10. And 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. There's my 6. And let's not forget our decimal point. 2 places in, 2 places in, right here. So our last step is to write our full answer completely. Volume is 602 and 88 units cubed. So look at all this work we had to do. This is exactly why it's so important that we trace all of our steps. Going back to our very beginning step of identifying our information, plugging in to find area, plugging that in to find volume, and then all this extra math that we had to do to find the area of the circle. We had to do all this extra math to divide and then multiply again to get our final answer. So it is so, so, so important that we keep track of our work.